The period known as the Golden Age of Islam, starting in the 8th century, marked a time of Islamic flourishing, significant advancements in knowledge, and a renewed attention toward the regions of the Middle East. During this period, it was the city of Baghdad that emerged as the epicenter of the Golden Age, renowned worldwide for its advancements in learning and progress. Baghdad burgeoned into a metropolis boasting a population of 1 million people. It housed numerous libraries, replete with manuscripts and books eagerly awaiting study by scholars from across the globe who congregated in the Muslim capital. Among the most sought-after destinations for these foreigners upon their arrival was the Beit al-Hikmah, also known as the House of Wisdom. As the largest library in the entire city, the Beit al-Hikmah held significant sway over the contemporary advancements in fields such as artistry, literature, astronomy, medicine, and beyond. Under the patronage of Baghdad's rulers, the Abbasid Caliphate, scholars, scientists, and others were subsidized to pursue studies in the city, fostering an environment conducive to progress. It appeared that there was only one direction to move: forward. The Golden Age of Islam was indeed a remarkable era. Regrettably, as the saying goes, all good things must eventually come to an end. During Baghdad's waning years of glory, it served as the capital of the Abbasid Caliphate. The Abbasids succeeded the Umayyad Caliphate in the mid-8th century, becoming the third Islamic Caliphate to rule the Middle East since the time of Prophet Muhammad. The name of the Abbasid Caliphate was derived from Abbas, an uncle of the Prophet. The empire swiftly expanded its reach from Arabia to encompass territories spanning the Levant, Syria, North Africa, Iraq, and beyond. The Abbasids were indeed a formidable force, but when the Mongols arrived at their doorstep, they faced an unexpected and formidable challenge. The Mongols differed significantly from the Abbasids. Unlike the settled Abbasids, the Mongols were nomadic pastoralists, rarely establishing permanent settlements. Consequently, they often found themselves in conflict with sedentary societies like the Abbasid Caliphate. In these confrontations, the Mongols employed a distinctive and often brutal battle strategy. Renowned for inspiring the construction of the Great Wall of China due to their relentless incursions, the Mongols were synonymous with numerous terror tactics. If one ever heard the clashing of pots and pans or the aggressive rattling of bells, it was a clear sign that they were about to face the wrath of the Mongols. While the Mongols typically offered local rulers the option of surrender before launching an attack, if this offer was declined, it often resulted in mass destruction and bloodshed. Although the Mongols were not settlers, they had a penchant for conquest and sought to expand their territory to accommodate their nomadic lifestyle. Therefore, when Temujin, who later became known as Genghis Khan, unified the Mongols, a series of events unfolded that ultimately culminated in the siege and devastation of Baghdad. Under the leadership of Hulagu, the grandson of Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire experienced significant expansion. Hulagu Khan extended his authority into Syria and was in the process of consolidating his control over the territories of the Ilkhanate of Persia. This expansion brought the Mongols into direct confrontation with a Shiite group known as the Assassins, whom Hulagu eventually defeated. His next formidable obstacle was the Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad. Over the years and successive caliphs, the Abbasids had unfortunately experienced political and military decline. They had even resorted to paying tribute to the Mongols. However, the current caliph, al-Mustasim, seemed unconcerned about the potential implications of this arrangement. Nevertheless, the caliph had already heard rumors regarding Hulagu's ambitions and intentions. Despite this, al-Mustasim remained unconvinced of the imminent threat, partly due to the counsel of his Grand Vizier. The issue with this Grand Vizier, however, was that he is believed to have harbored his own agenda, which contradicted that of his ruler. This stemmed from the fact that the caliph had previously offended many of his Shia Muslim subjects, including his Grand Vizier, through grievous acts and decrees. Therefore, it is widely believed that the caliph's chief advisor was the one who not only entertained the notion of a Mongol invasion, but actively encouraged it, possibly even extending an invitation to the Mongols. Whether this scenario indeed unfolded remains a subject of debate, yet what is indisputable is that the caliph, for reasons unknown, grossly underestimated the determination and power of the audacious Mongols. Al-Mustasim's initial indication that Hulagu was serious should have been when the Mongol leader sent a letter demanding the surrender of both the caliph and the city of Baghdad. Shockingly, it is reported that Caliph al-Mustasim responded with an ultimatum, instructing Hulagu to either retreat or besiege the city of Baghdad. The issue lay in the caliph's belief that the entirety of the Muslim world would inevitably unite to defend Baghdad if the Mongols dared to launch an attack on the Abbasid capital. This belief, however, would soon be shattered. On January 29, 1258, much to the astonishment of the caliph, the Mongols initiated a siege on the great city of knowledge and the heart of the Islamic Golden Age. The Abbasids found themselves with a weakened and poorly supplied army, ill-prepared to confront their attackers. Contrary to the caliph's expectations, the response from the rest of the Muslim world was lukewarm. Meanwhile, the Mongols proved to be formidable masters of warfare. Within a few days, al-Mustasim found himself compelled to reassess his earlier stance and sought to initiate negotiations with Hulagu. However, the Mongol Khan rebuffed the caliph's pleas. Although the Mongols had initially offered a chance for peaceful surrender, this opportunity had already elapsed, and they were no longer inclined to entertain such negotiations. As a result, the siege persisted, unabated. On February 10, 1258, Caliph al-Mustasim surrendered unconditionally to the Mongols, who accepted his surrender. For the next 3 days, the citizens of Baghdad awaited their fate with mounting anticipation, unaware of the horrors that awaited them. On February 13th, Hulagu and his troops made their way into Baghdad. As the Mongols advanced into the city, they issued a single warning, directed solely to the Nestorian Christians. Hulagu instructed them to seek refuge within their church, advising them to remain indoors and not to venture outside. Hulagu likely made this promise due to his personal connections. His own mother and favorite wife were Nestorian Christians. He assured them that if they obeyed and remained within their church, his men would not harm them. However, for the rest of Baghdad, no such mercy was extended. A week of plunder and bloodshed ensued, sparing not even the city's nobles. Approximately 3,000 nobles were executed. As for the caliph, various theories abound regarding his fate. According to one account, al-Mustasim was confined in a chamber filled with his own wealth and treasures. If the travels of Marco Polo are to be trusted, Hulagu reportedly told the caliph, "Eat of thy treasure as much as thou wilt, since thou art so fond of it." It is speculated that al-Mustasim ultimately perished from starvation. However, this narrative contradicts another tale, which asserts that Hulagu feared that shedding royal blood on Baghdad's soil would unleash catastrophic consequences, possibly in the form of natural disasters. Therefore, according to this version, Hulagu had Caliph al-Mustasim wrapped in one of his own luxurious rugs to prevent any spilling of royal blood, and then had him trampled to death. Regardless of the specifics, the final ruler of the Islamic Golden Age met his demise alongside the city he once called home. The death toll of the entire catastrophe has been estimated to range from 90,000 to 1 million, encompassing not only the defending army stationed at the city's borders, but also civilian men, women, and children. Baghdad itself was almost razed to the ground, with whatever remnants remaining set ablaze and reduced to ashes. It is recounted that the river Tigris ran crimson with blood as a result of the massacre. However, the situation took an even more tragic turn when the conquerors began hurling hundreds of thousands of books and manuscripts into the water. Eyewitnesses reported that the Tigris turned black from the ink of these priceless texts, marking the end of their readability and preservation. From that moment on, the House of Wisdom and all its invaluable contents became nothing more than a relic of the past. The siege and subsequent destruction of Baghdad in 1258 represented more than just a defeat for the Abbasids. It was more than a loss for the Muslim world. It was a tragic calamity for the entire world. The demise of the Golden Age signified the end of an era characterized by prosperity, knowledge, art, and much more. Countless texts, now lost forever, will never be read again. Centuries of learning and progress were abruptly halted, denying humanity the advancements that could have been achieved. The fall of Baghdad marked the collapse of the hub of a burgeoning world, a lifeline for people from all corners of the globe who embarked on arduous journeys spanning days just to partake in the knowledge housed within its house of wisdom. Sadly, this monumental legacy is one that far too many of us have now forgotten.